Hey, business building warrior. Jim Cockrum here, host of Silent Sales Machine Radio, and I'm excited to bring to you a very unusual episode today. We probably mentioned it in the title, but we're talking to a brand that our team has helped build an Amazon presence for. This brand was doing very well for the past several decades, and as you'll hear them share soon, they were noticing this Amazon thing coming around and they weren't sure what to do with it. The message today is for brands as well as sellers like you. If you're an Amazon seller, if you're an e-commerce warrior, if you enjoy this podcast and you hear the shows and the inspiration, this is for you as well. It's a little unusual, but stick with me. This brand that had been around for a few decades didn't have its own Amazon presence. It didn't know what to do with Amazon. Amazon is about 10% of all retail sales in the United States at this point. E-commerce is 20% of all retail sales and growing rapidly. Every brand needs to have a strategy for selling online, for selling on Amazon, and many of them don't. The vast majority of brands are intimidated and kind of wandering in the darkness when it comes to e-commerce and Amazon. This is a huge opportunity, and I wanted you to hear it from one of our clients. Here's the opportunity. If you're a typical listener to this podcast, if you approach brands, have conversations with them, talk about getting on Amazon, talk about helping them get into e-commerce. You don't have to be the expert or the guru yourself. You don't have to be the one that has all the answers. Refer them to us if you'd like. We'll give you a percentage of the deal. There's all kinds of ways to monetize this. One of the observations I even made on the show today was, hey, if you've got a brand that you're talking to because you found them on Amazon and you weren't allowed to sell their stuff, that's a good thing. You're looking at ASINs to sell and you find one, you're like, oh, I wish I could sell this. Well, I'm gated. I'm not allowed to sell it. It's a private label brand. Don't assume that that private label brand or that small brand knows what they're doing. The brand we're about to meet, they're called Spazazz, Spazazz.com, Spazazz.com. I'll let them tell you what their product is all about here in a minute. But they were already on Amazon, but they had no clue what they were doing. Some random people had listed a few of their products, and the brand wasn't doing much of anything. It didn't have any congruency. So they met Nathan on our team. They've blown up their business. They just had a nearly $200,000 month, I think is what they said, something like that in December. And they're on track just a couple weeks into this month to do really well again, a six-figure month again. They're super excited. About 25% of their business is now online, thanks to the efforts of our team. And we're paid well to support and help them manage their growth. The short version of the story, helping brands do well on Amazon pays very well, and it's a wide open market. And if you're a listener to this show, you're more than equipped to go have conversations with small owned business brands that need help with this stuff. So let's jump over and meet the team from Spazazz.com. We're going to hang out with Nathan Bailey, who is not only our coaching director for our company, but he also helps manage the brands that we manage through our service called Humminbird, HUMNBIRD.com. I'll stick a link to that in the show notes along with everything else we're going to talk about today. Enjoy this unusual episode, but I think it's going to inspire and encourage you as to the possibilities, maybe even inspire you to launch your own brand and have us help you do that. We love doing these kinds of things. We're not just about reselling here. We love all aspects of e-commerce and multiple income streams. So enjoy this conversation with one of our clients. Let's get into it right now. So Spazazz team, welcome to the podcast. Good to see you guys.
To see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for jumping on here. Now, Nathan, my right-hand man here, who's on the screen with us, if you're watching, he has kind of been the director of our brand programs for quite some time around here, helping brands grow and getting relationships with the brands we work on. We don't bring them on the podcast very often, like I mentioned in the introduction, but this is such a great story, and we're seeing so many cool stories like this develop. So I think what I want to do is start here I'm calling you guys the Spazazz team, because for those of you who are listening, there's four of them here with us right now. We're going to hopefully hear a little bit from each of them. But Angie, I'd like to start with you, if that's okay. And just what is Spazazz? The first time I heard the name, I got to admit, I laughed a little bit. Like, really, that the name's what? Fill me in a little bit. I love the name.
Yes. Well,
the name is 33 years old, so that probably has a little bit to do with the Spazazz. Fun story. I was young, living in Southern California, ended up with a hot tub and chlorine, bromine, and I was like really into flowers and trying to grow my little family, but that wasn't happening as quickly as we wanted. So I found a chemist and we developed a product that was formulated to go in the outdoor hot tub. And so that's how Spazazz was born. And then a few years later, my family grew, and that's who's all here with me today is my family. So I'm super excited to share with all of you our fabulous product and what we do and how we've grown with you
It's
guys.
beautiful. And I use the product in my own backyard in the tub that we have, and it makes it smell amazing. And I think that's kind of what you guys are known for, at least from my vantage point, is it doesn't have to smell like a bunch of chemicals when you use your hot tub. It can actually smell really nice. And my wife loves it. So yeah, it was great product line and great business story, and that's what we're going to kind of dive into. But maybe it's good for me just to make sure everyone knows who we're looking at here. And the names are in the show notes. But we got Ben, Angie, Arrie, and Riley. Thanks for joining us, along with my right hand man Nate, who I mentioned. So Nate, I think I want to bounce to you next. Like, let's set the tone. What are we trying to accomplish here today? This is an unusual episode, but one that even our regular listeners are going to want to hang out for, because there's more to selling on Amazon than just selling random products from strangers and to strangers. This gets us into the relational element a little bit, right?
Well,
Talking about brands and building relationships. So where do you want to go today?
it's all about giving people some perspective. I created a course in the Proven Amazon course. If you go in there and you're a member of the Proven Amazon course, if not, go get it. But it's called Proven Product Partnering. And what
PPP.
it does, yeah, the PPP course, and it teaches you how to go out and find brands that are struggling to take advantage of the opportunity of not just Amazon, but how to use the internet creatively to generate revenue. And I've come across this right now. I've got a total of about 50 different brands that I'm working with right now that we are getting their products on Amazon and helping them sell through and figure it out, because it's running the gauntlet. I mean, if you don't know everything that we know about Amazon and you try to get on Amazon and try to do it all, it's just you hit roadblock after roadblock. And it's hard for these brands. I can tell you this, that there is an endless supply. I mean, for those of you out there, you probably are, looking for the product sources. How can I find a product to sell on Amazon? Well, really, there are an endless supply of brands that are absolutely clueless about how to fully take advantage of Amazon, and you can find them, build a relationship with them, and help them build their brand on Amazon and sell. And there's a few ways that you can make money with it, with what's in your brain, and help them, but there is no short supply of these brands that need help. And Spazazz, just so it was a divine appointment how I met them. In fact, Jim, a funny story is the reason I was able to meet with Angie is because of the guy that introduced me and you 25 years ago, Todd Baum, right? With Hammer Tap, the old eBay software company, right? So Todd, his mother and Angie's mother are best friends.
Okay.
And I mentioned to Todd, another brand that I was working with that we were just struggling trying to get there. And he was like, "Oh man, you should work with Angie. Don't work with them. Work with Angie." Right. And I'm like, "Really? Oh, and so Todd made the introduction.
Yes, we went to school together, all
that's
through
so cool.
elementary, junior high, and high school. Fun fact.
It's relationships. It really is, man. Every story starts with a relationship connection, a little conversation. I love it.
So I stepped in and I'm like, okay, let me see what I can do to help. I had already studied the keywords, so I kind of knew their product and I knew the keywords and those things, right? But I'm still learning about this business. I've actually been to the largest pool and spa international trade show expo with them. They took me with them so I could learn more about it. And we're still learning about the product. I have my whole team managing their account. But I mean, in the very beginning, it took me 3 months just to get them past brand register online. They had some problems that, and they were actually a vendor selling to Amazon. And that experience was kind of difficult for them just because Amazon, they have to make everything difficult, right? In whether you're selling directly to them or you have your own seller account. But we found that, you know what? There's some gaps. And we've talked about golden gaps in the past. They were selling their products single individual units, one of each, right? And you know me, I also have a course on branded bundles, right? And that was really during that time in 2024 where we were really launching that. And so I kind of shared what I knew about, hey, people love the convenience of bundling these products together. And so we kind of retooled their catalog a bit to add a lot of these bundles to the catalog, because what that does is it gives you more real estate on Amazon instead of just having a single unit and a single offer. Well, if I can flood their keywords with 20, 30, 40, 50 more listings, right, that are taking up that space of those keywords, they can become more visible. And we've discovered so many opportunities. But in 2024, there was zero sales being made. I think in that first year, we did close to what, 400 and something $1,000 in sales in that first year. And now in 2025, we've doubled those sales, almost done $1 million in sales for them that they wouldn't have really had otherwise. But what's really cool about this is, they have a whole team and they're a family business. That's what I love about working with these guys, is they are a tight-knit family. And what's cool is you get in those environments and they open up and they're like, hey, here are the struggles that we're really having, and that we're trying, and the problems that we're trying to solve. Because that's really what it's all about, is getting in and going, okay, what are the problems that you have that we can solve? And what are those solutions? And being able to work with Finn, right? Like me and Finn, we work together every week. Right. Me and Riley, I mean, we hang out, we go, we still got to go golfing though. But like, we go out to lunch, we eat sushi, and we hang out. Right. And it's really kind of a cool thing because, it's a very open dialogue. If you work with a supplier and you're buying and you're supplying, you never really kind of get to know those relationships. And I know these guys really well. And I now know their product. And our goal this year is to double again. So the first year we did pretty well, but I mean, we didn't really get out of the gates until like April, May in selling, because we had all these challenges that we had to solve for their business, trademark issues and just Amazon account issues, right? And then once we kind of got going, I started incorporating the team. We started building more and more listings. We built bundles. And then I kind of put them into the stress test, right? On keeping inventory in stock. And what's cool about this relationship is I've actually learned as much about kind of in their business and their product and those keywords as I've been able to teach them, because it's not just let me just do this and just manage everything for you. They are very good at learning and applying what needs to be done to make this successful on Amazon. And you don't always get that with these clients that you can say, hey, let me help you build your business on Amazon. But this whole model, think about this. If as someone that's looking at finding your own Spazazz client to work with and do this sort of thing, right? There's some very rewarding benefits to it. But one of the real benefits is that you're not the one having to buy the inventory. It's been on your dime, Angie. Right? I've been able to learn. I've been able to benefit because of that. But there's also the significant fact, right? That as I get down the road, I'm learning things that I would have never learned about your business and or Amazon and things through the process. But it's a growth thing. And I think in business, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? And helping another business grow is a great way to learn things, to be able to grow in your own business too. But it's a very low risk, very high reward model, but it requires that you know how to do things, right? That you have some experience at this. So, but it's been an absolute pleasure to work with them. And we're looking ahead to the long term. Like we're looking, not just, okay, what are we going to do this next year, but beyond that, and how do we continue to scale this thing? I mean, even after 30 years, Angie, I mean, we're starting to see real results.
Yes, we are. We're lifetimers, Nathan.
Yeah. So the relationship is wonderful, but there's so many benefits to going after this model, because if you're out there finding a wholesale account and that's what you're doing, let's say you're at a trade show, why not present, hey, I'd love to buy your product and sell it on Amazon, but even better, what if we just set up your own account and you have me help you manage that side of your business? That's not your wheelhouse to do that, but that's my wheelhouse. And if I can make a little bit of money doing that for you and show you results, and I can get paid based on results, if it gets results, then I keep getting paid. If it doesn't get results, then you're not going to continue to pay me, right? And so it's a very good model to go into before you go in deep and say, oh, I'm going to start my own private label brand. It's a great way to learn. But, you guys, I want to, speak to you guys and ask you guys a few questions about this experience, because it's very rarely that, people can get my perspective all day long on it. Hey, you can go out and find businesses to work with. And what I like to tell people is, hey, even if you're not the expert, bring them to me and I'll help you manage that. And you can help manage the project. And there's an opportunity for you to do this, even if you're a brand new newbie. But from the other side of the perspective of you guys working with someone like me, right? Let's be raw and real. Like, what were some of the benefits? And not only that, but what were some of the challenges that you see that we faced as far as what did we have to overcome? What were some of the wins there in that process? And, where do you like Finn, let's start kind of with you a little bit. Like, what were you able to get out of the experience so far?
Oh, it taught me a lot. I thought I knew about Amazon until you opened the door and kind of showed what potential it did have. And so, yes, we hit some roadblocks that we definitely didn't see coming, but those roadblocks, like you had mentioned, are actually a real good stepping stool, a way to learn and to, grow in that direction. So it's been a great experience, and we're just getting started. We're just putting our foot down, and it's very rewarding to be able to see the growth, look back at the day that we did start till now and see how far we have come. And then it's cool to see that how far we still can go in that aspect. So it's been a rewarding experience, but also it's not an easy one. You definitely have a lot to do, a lot to work. It's been a great experience overall, and I can't wait for what's ahead. So,
as the director of marketing, Finn, for the company, and this, once again, remember, this is a family business, right? Finn is a son of Angie here. And, this is opening up the door for you also to not just for Amazon, but now we're starting to explore TikTok. We're starting to explore Walmart, and like Amazon is just a spoke in your marketing wheel. But like Finn, you have some really cool things that you bring to the table where I'm able to learn from your perspective as well. So that I love working with you, man. Every week we get on and we spend that hour or 2 hours, going through this. It's like, it's not just me. I'm not the know-it-all, be-all, end-all of the knowledge. It's like we're learning together. And because every niche and every business has its own entrepreneurial fingerprint. And like Arrie, for you, like you manage a lot of the day-to-day operations of the company. You do a lot of like social media stuff as well, right? And I mean, like that's a whole area that we're working on growing into, right? What has the experience been like for you?
Social media specifically?
Yeah, or just
been a little bit of a challenge, but I think the creative outlet is super fun once you get into it. But yeah, as mentioned, we are a family-run business, so we get to wear lots of hats.
Yeah.
So, sometimes social media isn't on the top priority, but it's super fun to have that creative outlet and see our business grow and people responding and chit-chatting with us. And yeah, getting to know the end user of the product, which is new for us as well. We've been in the pool and spa industry for over 30 years and
in the retail space.
Yeah. So, getting to talk to the end user, getting to connect with them is a new experience.
We love their videos. Send us more videos if you love our product.
User-generated content. We're going to talk about that, guys, because in this podcast, what I want to offer is the opportunity for you guys out there listening to this to be one of our brand advocates. Wave the flag. And how would you like to make money doing that? Getting behind a brand that we know, like, and trust, that knows, likes, and trusts us, and being able to see this business grow and be a part of it and actually being able to profit or benefit too. And another thing too, Riley, like some of the feedback and some of the, I got to tell you, Riley, me and him are bros, but I have put you into a situation where you probably hate your life, because building these bundles that we've built and put on Amazon is a kind of a challenge, isn't it? You got to it's like doing a puzzle. It's like,
yeah, it's brought on some, some more work, but nothing that we couldn't have taken on. But it's also good because now we get more, more family, more brothers and sisters to come back there, and cousins to help us out. So yeah, we're able to, expand and have good people helping us out. But yeah, the bundles have been, we have quite a few SKUs, and adding the bundles onto it has been something, but it's been awesome to see the end user, enjoy having varieties and having different options, just, a single. So, and it kind of brings some more spazazz to it, I guess, just some more pizzazz.
And Blake Riley mentioned, we are all family. Nathan is now our family, and Jim, but we have added some cousins and second cousins and just everybody's family. It's been fun.
I love that dynamic of families doing business together. The name of my nonprofit ministry that's recently launched, I've used the phrase forever, is bringing dads home, just because I know what it felt like for me to get to come home from my corporate career and launch something that my family could be involved in.
Yes.
That's my heart. So when I see families doing business together, because there's a lot of schools of thought out there that say, oh, never sell your car to a friend or family, never do business with family. It's like, no, I completely disagree. These are the people that you love and trust the most in the world. Why not do something significant with them that challenges you? And I'm sure you guys have had arguments over Thanksgiving dinner about different aspects, like, no, we're leaving the business at the office, guys.
Yes.
I can just, I've never been a part of it, but I just know that was it. But that can be done in a healthy way that strengthens those relationships.
Yes.
It forces you to all be on the same page, heading in the same direction, which is a healthy thing for families. So I'm a huge advocate of the family run business and keeping it under the roof. I see the benefits. My kids have grown up each other's best friends, having tackled challenges that otherwise they wouldn't have tackled. So I'm very familiar with the benefits of this arrangement. So I love that about your brand as well.
Yes, that we are. We're on our third generation of family here.
That's so cool.
I can't be that old, but somehow, yes.
Yeah. So there's a couple things that we're doing here, Jim, that's pretty cool that I have that are part of what we offer in this community. I have a whole team of virtual assistants in the Philippines, right? I've got Ronnie, and you know Ronnie. And let me ask you guys this: your ability to not have to deal with me and you can deal directly with my team. How has that been for you guys? Speak to that a little bit.
It's been good. Knowing Nathan and how busy you are, it's good to be able to communicate with the team, and your team is very well educated and very experienced in knowing, how you would do it, and you've taught them very well. So it's been great to work with them, and I like it.
I love that this team that I have, they manage me. I don't manage them, but I don't shelter relationships, right? I actually encourage that we continue to build trust. We live in an abundance mentality, right? And that you want to go directly to my VAs to do things and ask them to do things and deal with my artists directly and my people. Absolutely. We also have a team member, Max, right? He does the PPC on this. I have never seen I have seen stuff like it, but he's really latched. He loves working with you guys in this account. And we did in the month of December, almost 150 grand in sales, right? We broke our company record here in this last month. And a lot of it has to do with the work that Max is doing with PPC. We were all down to like 14% ACOS. That means that 14% of the sales that we made on ad spend that's how much we spend. That was our acquisition cost of spend. So if you do $100,000 in sales with ad spend, you spent $14,000 in ad spend to make those sales. And that's actually really good. And we're going to keep driving that down. But what we'd like to do is we'd like to expand these efforts. We're not content at being able to do $800, $900, $1 million a year. This year, we want to do $2 million in sales, not just on Amazon, but just online as a total, right? And, we're going to keep adding team members to this to do it. But one of the key components that's going to make this work, I think, and this is the new way to build a brand. Don't go to Google and dump money into the money pit of Google ads. Even Meta, I mean, you can make money doing it this way if you got, a really good technique for paid ads, paid advertising. Me and you, Jim, we've never been a big fan of it. We've always loved organic selling. That's like with Amazon, you're going to get the best bang for your buck because instead of trying to pay to drive traffic to you, you're going where the traffic's already going, right? But what I'd like to see happen is let's see if we can find from our community, Jim, 20, 30, 50 brand advocates to do what we did with Mike Brown of Death Wish Coffee. And if you're listening to this podcast and you don't know that story, if you go to pickmikebrown.com, you can see the story. Mike was in our mastermind, was our student. I remember when he lived in his mother's garage and he was a barista at a coffee shop. And he told me, man, I've got the greatest idea for coffee. I know how to blend these coffees to where it's the most caffeinated coffee. I'm like, yeah, that might work. Why not? Give it a shot. We'll help you out. Now it's $100 million a month business. And primarily, Jim, because you were able to push that brand out to the community. Our community got behind it. And we were able to help him win a competition with Intuit to win a Super Bowl commercial. Literally, we were part of a story, Jim, where we helped Death Wish Coffee, one of the largest coffee brands in the world right now, on every shelf in every grocery store in almost the world, in America, definitely. I want Spazazz to be our next big winner, right? So it's mostly for pool and spa and hot tub, but they have a new line of products. Now we're starting to get into home products that are in your jetted tub and in your bathtub and other products that you can experience fragrance and experience. That's the key word, because Angie, your product is not just a magnesium sulfate bath salt that's incredible. It's a fragrance. It's an experience. It's a lifestyle, right? So I'd love to recruit some people into the Spazazz lifestyle, into the story, to say, hey, come and work with us to promote it. If you can help us generate sales and you have a way to do that, you're going to get paid. And we're going to make sure you're going to get paid to do that, to create those results with us and be a part of this. But so if someone wants to work with us, right, what's the email, Ange, that they should email to reach out and talk to us?
It's info@spazazz.com. info@spazazz.com. Would love to work with you.
I'll stick that in the show notes as well. Yeah. Hopefully you have a good number of really good people reaching out to you with ideas, and you never know who's going to hear this and they've got a niche or a related market. But yeah, I'm excited about this program we're building out, Nate, that I want to hear more about. But definitely, certainly before we wind down, like this is a bit of a new initiative we're rolling out to the community.
Yeah.
But I want to hear, I guess maybe best from Angie at this point, or anyone else on the Spazazz team, like of what we've covered so far, what would you like to insert before we kind of move into another segment here? Anything that's been said that triggered a thought or a question or topic in your mind?
Yeah, what came to mind was we're just not a fabulous aromatherapy fragrance. There are the health benefits. And if I look back on the 33 years that we've been in business, we have a signature scent, or honey mango, that we haven't met anybody that doesn't like that one. But then we'll roll into, we keep on evolving with the health and wellness. We've added a CBD element to one of them because my mom had knee surgery, had so much pain, she could hop in her tub and just apply a little paste and get some relief. So we just keep on trying to come up with what we see as a need in this little niche that we found, whether it's in your backyard hot tub or in your bathtub or in your shower after a hard workout. You can make a paste, put it on your shoulders, your elbows, your knees, and let it soak in, as well as, you're smelling their great essential oils. But I thought that would be kind of nice to mention.
Absolutely. And the website, it's searched in the show notes as well. It's just spazazz.com, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Another big benefit is just magnesium in general, magnesium flake. The stuff that they get, like you can go to the grocery store and buy the cheap stuff, right?
Yes.
This is the absolute Rolls Royce of that. I use it in my hot tub. I have a bad knee through skiing out here in Utah, and the therapy line is awesome. The muscle, the joint, the respiratory stuff, you could use in your bathtub, but magnesium is the building block of life, right? Like it's so good for your skin. It absorbs through the skin, goes into the muscles. This stuff is really way ahead of its time. And you can go out and buy other things out there similar, but you're not going to get the same level of quality. And that's to your tenure, Angie. You haven't just been kind of experimenting around with this for a few years. This is 30 years, 33 years, and they're still creating new and innovative products. There's a new line that we'd like to launch, and this is what I'd love to get some people working with us on. We've got, every time we launch new products that we're creating, because every year we're creating new products, we need people to get it out there and help us get it out there and buy it and help us get some good reviews and be involved in the Amazon Affiliate Associate Program. And, put a video up on Instagram, put a video up on Facebook, put a video up on TikTok. We're willing to reward you, benefit you for doing that, and be a part of this story. And so that's part of the new program that I'm building. Is not only do I want to teach our community how to build their own brand or go out and find other brands that they can help them build their business on Amazon, but what if I can take the brands that are coming to me that I'm building and go to you and get you paid just for helping us promote those brands? Not even selling them on Amazon, but saying, hey, send me a sample. I'll make a video. I'll get it posted. I'll get it in front of some followers. I'll go out and find an influencer. I have a friend that's an influencer. I've got a friend that's got, I have a buddy of mine that I write music with. His name's Steele. And he works for Mr. Beast. You guys know who Mr. Beast is, right? He works for Mr. Beast. And I'm just like, dude, right? But it's like, it's so hard to get into something at that level like that, when someone's one of the largest YouTubers in the world, right? I mean, we're talking somebody that gives out millions of dollars for free to people. It's just craziness, right? But if you have that kind of a connection, let's leverage it. Let me introduce you to this great relationship I found, people that I know you can trust, this great family business, and let's blow them up and help you blow up in the process. Because that's the key. Is we always talk about how you create the win-win-win, right? Where the customer wins, where you win, where the supplier wins, where Amazon wins, where I've seen 3, 4, 5, 6-way wins. And that's what I'm trying to create here. So it's not just, what if you are a brand and you'd like to get an army of advocates pushing your brand just because, hey, I know this guy, Jim Cockrum, and I love his worldview and his philosophy about business. And I'm listening to his podcast. And wow, here's a neat new opportunity to create those win-win-win opportunities within my own world or my own sphere of influence, right? So that's kind of what we'd like to invite, because I can tell you this, if your idea is like, oh, they're selling bath salt, well, I'm going to go try to compete with them. Good luck. And in fact, if you do and you're successful, there's nobody that will give you a bigger high five in your success than us. But I'm just telling you, Angie, I mean, has it been easy?
Define easy, right?
Yeah.
No, but I just try to find the rainbow every day. So these hurdles, these roadblocks that come, but you just keep on waking up each day, making it happen. And I think it's just all in your attitude too. And I can't say the word all of a sudden. Anyway, your fight to keep on making things happen. And as I've gotten older and my children have gotten older, and Finn is my son-in-law. Mm-hmm. My youngest daughter is married to Finn. Riley is my oldest, my son, and Arrie is my middle. And I'm just so proud that they've chose to come into this family industry and help me build something bigger than I can do on my own, because you can't do things on your own. You need an army. And then we found you guys. So we're blessed.
Yeah. I'm hoping if we double the sales, I'll be happy with that, but I won't be shocked if we triple this year.
Yeah.
Just because now that I've gotten down this road with you guys and you've allowed me to become part of this, and you have to earn that. That's one thing I want to go out there. You can't just go to a business and be like, I'm the be all end all expert, right? You've got to earn these relationships. They're valuable. That's the most valuable thing you'll ever encounter. It's the currency, the real currency in your business is relationships. But I see this being one that we can work together on for the next 10 to 20 years. And, I think that positioning you for, if it's something that's in your exit strategy, a nice exit in terms of, being able to sell this business for probably a lot more than you realize it's worth, just because you've added these components to your business now. It's not just something that, I mean, you did a lot of a business in the retail space, right? And all of this online stuff, I mean, it's kind of still new, but over the last couple of years, I think it's opened up to where I think that you guys can do as much as you do in retail,
Yes.
online as well. And that's where I see the future going.
What is the breakdown right now? Before you were 100% retail before
That's
it came
correct.
along, correct? So he's helped
100%.
you get into Amazon at this point. We're a few years into that journey. So what's the breakdown percentage wise, approximately?
I would say we're 75-25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're making some good headway
We're
already.
making great headway because if you can imagine with me, back in the day when I started the business, it was just brick and mortar, the mom paws
Mhm.
opening their dream, opening their own little retail store where most of them are family run businesses like ours. And you build relationships. The industry I walked into is mostly men at the time. They were 99% men. And I walked in with this spa salt and they're like, "Are you the medicine lady?" And I went, "Yes, I'm here. And you're going to buy orange." And they're like, "What will orange do?" And it will lift you up and energize you. So it's been fun because Bath and Body Works, those stores weren't on the mainstream like they are now. So it's just been fun to see, even in the pool and spa retail space, grow in with our little product. It's been fun to hear the end users. Customers will walk up and say, "I had aches and pains and I'll only use your product," because they do know of the quality and the pure ingredients as that go into it. But overall, we're growing to mainstream how the world is changing, but we still want to shout out to the mom and pop retail stores out there in the world that are still using and selling Spazazz. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
all-
have them reach out to them, have them listen to this. Maybe some of them will have some
Yes,
ideas
we'll
and they want
have
to work
to.
with some brands that they own. And, one of the things that I want to ask, because again, I'm keeping our audience in mind today, predominantly people who are reselling on Amazon with an aspiration to do other things, maybe build their own brand, maybe do some consulting. And I'm just putting myself in their shoes for a second, listening to this episode. And something I wouldn't mind, maybe it's you, Angie, maybe it's someone else on your team, but what was it besides like, the charisma maybe or the timing, but what was it that convinced you to give this Amazon thing a shot? If you can remember back to the conversations that led to you guys getting into this, because, and I'll give you a moment to think about your answer. My contention is that as someone who understands the Amazon platform, like the sellers that we serve do, the value of the knowledge you have in your head is so much more expansive and it's such a resource that you tend to underestimate it. So you get into a conversation with a family business like yours that's 99.9% retail, mom and pop stores since your genesis, and now this Amazon thing's there and you don't know what to do with it. So if I come to you and say, "Hey, for a very reasonable arrangement here, let me take a shot at getting you guys on Amazon," like most brands are going to want to get into that conversation. So what was that conversation like with you guys? How much convincing did it take? Nathan, you're not allowed to answer or coach here. I want to hear from Angie and whoever else was involved in that decision. Like, what tipped the scale for you? What made you pull the trigger? And what was that arrangement like? Share as much detail as you'd like.
Sure. I'll speak for a second and then I'll let the team chime in. I think I could see the way the world was changing. Everybody I knew was going on Amazon and making purchases. It became to where that was just what people were doing. They wanted the instant. They wanted to go on, log on, purchase. And I thought we need to keep up with the times. And my son-in-law knew and was learning a lot about Amazon, and Todd Baum met him. He was talking about Nathan. So we thought we must do it. So Finn, would you like to chime in?
Yeah, it's kind of like Angie had mentioned, if the way of the world, kind of the way it's heading, the way people shop, it's in business, if you don't learn to adapt, you will get taken over and you will eventually lose that foothold. And so since Spazazz had that strong foothold in the pool and spa industry, like if we didn't adapt, somebody else would have come in and taken that away. And so Spazazz being this, strong in the pool and spa industry, we adapted just like Angie had in the past, making new products, catching people's attention continuously. We made that same adaptation to Amazon and the direct to consumer there. So for every business, even for these mom and pops, they have to adapt to stay alive. The shopping experience is constantly changing. Who knows what's next, but you have to adapt to survive, or you're going to your business is going to slowly shrivel away.
And I have one more thought on that. Nathan, you can probably contest to this too, because when we did open the book of the Amazon and saw Spazazz was already being sold on that platform through the retail space, because they weren't going to be left behind either. So they had already started listing our products on Amazon. And then we were just able to add on and make bundles, which has made us so popular.
It's a differentiator, right? Because not only here, get this, Jim, not only are they selling to distributors that sell the product to retail, but those distributors went, hey, let's sell to Amazon. And not only that, they also had a vendor account when I came into the situation, which Amazon, I don't know how much you know about Vendor Central, but they dumped about 60% of their vendors this last year at the beginning of 2025. And it left a ton of business out there hanging, going, hey, how are we going to continue? I still have businesses wanting to get in touch with me to help them get back on Amazon, because now Amazon's not buying from them anymore, right? And
they have to be resellers. They need the resellers to get their stuff out there, unless they want to build their own account.
Yeah. The stuff that Amazon still sells, their stuff, Amazon is still on some of our listings and they sell. Yeah. We don't sell on those listings because that's part of the rules is if you're a vendor on Amazon, you can't compete with Amazon with another Amazon account that you're selling product to Amazon and it's against the rules, right? So we had to get creative and say, okay, Amazon, we'll let you sell these. We're going to create our own unique relevant bundles, right? That nobody else but us, Spazazz, can sell. And that gives us the ability to say, okay, we've got some other people out there that aren't Amazon, but there are other people that sell Spazazz. It sells all over the world, basically. You know, what's funny, guys, is I saw your product selling in Australia.
Yes.
For like $500 a bottle. I was like, so some drop shippers out there are doing it. And, it's like casting that wide net. And one of the really neat things about that is we have control of the brand. We're not going to be limited. We're not going to get hit with a high pricing error. We're not going to have to, face any of these other challenges that you face as being a reseller. We are the brand, right? So it gives us the ability to do things creatively. And that's kind of I think that's my real skill and challenge or tool set or skill set is to see the problem and find the creative solution to that problem. And I think that we're still I think we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg, just scratching the surface on how can we continue to solve problems, not only for the business, but for the customers and what their needs are. And not only that, but the retailers and the other people out there that are on the Spazazz bus. And that's the thing is with that abundance mentality, there's an opportunity for everyone to win here.
Yeah, I want to revisit, the question I asked them and they answered very well. And this is for the listeners' sake today. They didn't say that you had a 45 slide presentation that exhibited your vast, expansive knowledge on the topic of selling on Amazon. That's not what convinced them. What I heard Finn say was like, hey, the world's changing. Our competitors are on Amazon. We better figure this out. It doesn't take a savvy salesperson if someone's already at a point of like desperation and recognizing the need that they have, and they're just waiting for someone. There's not enough people out there that understand how to sell on Amazon. We say that all the time. And that was the answer they gave, Nate, was we needed someone to help us. And here comes somebody to help us. Like they didn't even know who to call. Like, who do you call when you're a brand that really wants to get better at e-commerce, right? Like it's someone that says, hey, I'm in a community. And this is what we tell our sellers to say. And this may be of interest to you, the Spazazz team. I don't know, but Nate and I have said something along these lines for years. Just say, I'm in a community, and see if this resonates with you, Spazazz team. If someone had come up to you and said, hey, I'm in a community of people that lives, eats, breathes, and sleeps e-commerce and Amazon selling, and for virtually zero risk or investment from you, I would
Yep.
really like to take a stab at making your brand blow up. And here's a
Yes.
few examples of other brands that I've seen blow up all around me. I love your products. I would love to take a shot at it. Yeah, all I need is a little bit of your product and permission to give it a shot. What do you say? Right? Like, I didn't just ask for a $50,000 check. I'm saying I need some product. And we as resellers, that's what we're looking for, is products we can sell. So now I've got your permission to set up some bundles and just see what happens. Sure,
Yes.
go for it. Right? Like, it's not a hard thing to do. So I'll talk to the sellers for one more minute. And then Nate, I want to go back to you to see what you have next. But this constant hunt for products to sell, and you run into these brands that, oh, I can't sell it. That's a private label brand. Don't assume that they know what they're doing. Don't assume that they've got it all figured out. You just heard Spazazz say people were selling their products and it was news to them. Like, wait, our stuff's on Amazon.
Yes.
If you can be the one that goes to that company and says, hey, I noticed your stuff is on there. Do you feel like you're on top of it? I'd like to help you strategize a little better here. I've got some ideas I want to run past you. That's not really going to cost you anything. Let's just get this thing spun up, man. You give me $1,000 and a little bit of your product, I think we could do something here, right? That is such a no-brainer sales pitch that's available to any reseller. And we'd love to work with you and help you, but you may not even need us. Just go have conversations with some of these brands that you're running into on Amazon that may or may not be served well. So the floor is open. If anyone has anything else they want to say, I think we've hit our two major points. I probably talked about this in the introduction today. If you're a reseller, you've got other income streams wide open to you. Talk to brands, have conversations. If you're not confident, you get in over your head, send them to us. We'll share the revenue, right? That's simple. And the other is, we've got a great company here, spazazz.com. There's a link in the show notes. Support them. This is a true family business. If you got a hot tub or know someone that does, send them that way at a minimum and say, hey, check out this stuff. I use it. I love it. We've been pouring it in our hot tub in the backyard and just loving the aromas that come out of it. I've never seen anything like it. So I love supporting this brand, if nothing else, just because I enjoy it myself. But I'd love to see you guys just kind of merge into our community here and just kind of fall in love with the community and make this the model of, like Nate mentioned earlier, brands falling in love with our community, supporting each other, growing together, mutually benefiting each other in many ways. But the floor is open. I think we've accomplished our goals here, but I don't want to cut anyone off if they had other things they wanted to.
Can I just offer two things maybe? And Angie, this is going to come out of the blue a little bit, but Jim, when you're talking about the sales aspect, you don't have to sell. In fact, do not sell. That's going to be your biggest mistake if you're out trying to sell people.
Talking to brands.
Into a relationship like this. People don't want to be sold. I mean, they want to buy things, but they don't want to really be sold. And that's, I think, the biggest mistake people out there are trying to do. You know what? Find their problem and present a solution, right? And if your solution is really good, you're going to make more money as a result in this. But if your focus is only to make money and make a sell, you're just totally missing the mark. It's different. It's like they've invited me into their business, right, to share my expertise, and not only that, but help me take care of my team and put food on their table as a result to hire us, right? So it's basically it's almost more like asking for a job than it is doing a sales presentation, right? Yes. I love your company. I'd love to hitch my wagon onto you guys and see what I can do to help you build it. Now, that's the first thing. But second thing, Ange, can we give the people listening to this, Finn, is there any kind of a discount code for Spazazz? If they go to spazazz.com, they want to try the product.
And you got some time to set it up before we launch here. So if it's something you need to go set up, we can do that.
Let's hook some people up. I want people to try this product because I use it almost every day in my hot tub. My favorite, I like the Aloha, but I'm like weird. I like the girly stuff. I don't know, but I mean, the respiratory is my favorite, but like the green tea peony is really, really good. Seduction is one of my favorites too. But I mean, I just want people to try it. And, that's another thing too, is like, I mean, if you want to build some content and put it online and help us promote it, hey, we don't mind sending you out some samples to do it as well. So
Absolutely. Would love to send you samples. And I love that you mentioned the Hawaii all the way to seduction, because each year when we create a new line, we're dreaming of what would our customer love if they aren't able to make it to Hawaii. Can we put it in a bottle with a little story, and they can put it in their hot tub, and kind of sit back and soak in what it feels like and smells like to be in Hawaii? And then the seduction was, the world was a little dark and dreary. So I thought, well, we need to set the mood. Who doesn't need a little bit of strawberries and champagne in their hot tub, or moonshine whiskey? And it's just each year we'll come out with something new. We've got a little more serious lately in the health and wellness with the RX therapy line, the CBD line, the hemp line, because we felt like, well, people like myself are getting just a little older and we might need a little bit of extra therapy to soak in, but we just keep on thinking of new things. But the bath soak, Nathan, you mentioned, we are trying to move into every bathtub in the world through our soak. It's called SOAK, soak.
Yeah, and we do have a discount code for listeners on here. So we'll make sure you guys are taken care of, and we appreciate the support.
Yes, thank you.
And if you guys are into like the bathtubs or the hot tubs, we do have a cold plunge line.
Oh, good point.
That's new. Something really cool about Spazazz is we are always receiving top 50 products in the pool and spa world. So, I mean, to get a top 50 product award, it's including the pumps, the parts, chemicals, everything. And we're the only aromatherapy product in that. So we've been consistently getting those awards for about 10 years. Yeah, that's just a little toot our own horn. But the cold plunge collection's amazing. The aromatherapy products can be used in your bathtub if you don't have a hot tub. Yeah, we're excited for you guys to try them.
Outstanding. Is there a code you can give me now and maybe set up later? Because we got a little time before this goes out. So I can go ahead and mention on the air and stick it in the notes.
Yeah, let's
Should we call it Hummingbird?
no,
that gets misspelled. Our website is it's HUMNBIRD.com, Hummingbird with minus the G.
That's the business that is the I hate even calling it an agency, because
What should we call it? It could be your podcast.
Yeah, let's go Silent Jim.
Silent Jim.
Yeah, that's the link. That's the main website for the podcast, and Silent Jim, JIM. And that's the discount. We'll set something up. It'll be a nice discount for you at spazazz.com. So be sure to use your coupon code. They'll have some good deals set up for us there when you get over there. Yeah. And check it out and share it and buy some presents for your family. And Nate and I both use and love this stuff. So you're going to absolutely love it. If you got a tub, hot tub, shower, cold plunge, get some of this stuff.
One thing too, Ange, just because you've been a successful entrepreneur for a very long time. I mean, this is a 33-year-old business, right? So what, you started this business when you were like 12?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, 11, 12-ish.
Yeah. Okay. So, but what's a tip that you could give to some of the people that are entrepreneurs that are maybe just starting their journey right now? And I mean, I think the word you were looking for earlier was perseverance, but
yes, thank you.
What advice would you give to that person that you feel that was the thing that led you to where you're at now, and maybe one of those reasons why you were successful at this, and maybe one of the characteristics or things or tips or just a piece of advice?
Okay. Yes. Geez, I was quite young. I was not quite 30, but I think the biggest thing I would like to share is don't overthink it. If it's a dream, you found a need. I needed something to go into my hot tub that smelled good, that was compatible. So there was a need. I found a solution. I didn't know the solution. I had to go find the chemist to help me find the solution. And there were little roadblocks that popped up back then, but I just never gave up on what I felt was a need. And I do feel like it was a little gift. Like in the world, it just wasn't me. And it was a gift that was given to me, and I just never gave up on making it happen. And even when I walked in and I was intimidated by the room full of men at these trade shows, I didn't see myself really any different either. I was just there with a solution for the need. And I didn't, even though I maybe wasn't as confident inside, but I didn't let the world know that. I just held my head high and didn't overthink it and went for it.
I love that. I love you the woman-owned business, right? That's a huge thing, on your side. And I'll tell you, just for the interesting story, they took me to the largest pool and spa expo that happens in the United States, right?
Yeah.
And I walked around. They got me a badge and it said Spazazz, that I was with Spazazz. And I got to tell you, every exhibit that I walked up to, the owners of those businesses, oh, you're with Spazazz? They all know you, Ange. Everybody like, oh, you're with Angie. You're a big deal in that space.
Oh.
And to be a woman-owned business in that space that's dominated by men, that says something.
Well,
And
thank
where my mind goes, Nate, hearing that is she needs to be creating content too, right? Just anybody who's been doing business successfully at any level for an extended period of time, you're in an elite category that most people will never be in. And the world needs more of, you just gave us a little mini pep talk on perseverance. You could do that with 100 topics, right? Like, what's it like to work with family? Like, really, what's it like? You could do a whole talk on that. And there's people out there that are eager for that content. So I guess maybe I'm going to give it's Arrie. I'm going to give you a little homework. Is capture her wisdom and nuggets and bites and get them out there. And you talk about social media, just like capture those little thoughts, ask her those good questions, and get those out there. Because as big as Spazazz is, the leadership and success, encouragement, inspiration is the word I'm looking for, that can come from the story, not just Angie, but all of you, because of what you've built. Most businesses fail. That's just the world we live in. Most fail. So when one succeeds, there's a story there. There's lessons. There's an endless reservoir of great stuff you guys could be sharing. And I'm glad we got a chance to dig into a little bit of it today. And I'm excited to see what comes of this. Who knows what this will lead to? One or two contacts could completely pivot multiple lives because of the stories we shared today. So I'm excited to get this episode out there. Any final thoughts before we wrap up? I don't want to cut anyone off if you had something you were hoping to say, but we are going to land this plane here in just a minute.
Okay. I'm just so thankful for the team, my family, because each one of us play a role that wouldn't happen if we weren't all working as a team and individually. It's what gives us the spokes on the wheel to make Spazazz run. So I'm thankful for Jim and Nathan as well, because through trusting a friend who suggested I talk with Nathan is how this story is still evolving. We're just all here.
It's cool. It's fun to work with you. I appreciate you guys too, man. I look forward. Let's do 3 million. Let's do 3 million in 2026.
Why not?
It's only a number in our mind that we believe.
Yes.
I mean, there's going to be steps to get there. And you know what though, Riley? Could you imagine if we just overnight, now we're doing $300,000 in sales a month, dude? You would hate me. You would hate me.
We would all figure it out.
Yeah, I'd come help you in the warehouse, brother. You know me, but Jim always comes down on me like, Nate, you should never touch boxing tape. And king of boxing tape, man. What are you talking about?
I say stop touching boxing tape because I can't get you to stop.
Yeah, it's kind of true. I know, like, Riley really is an amazing friend and talker. So we really want to get him on the phone and communicating with our community. But Nathan, you just keep on giving us and helping us grow. Therefore, he's still back there with all of the cousins and the uncles and everybody that's back there. So
hey, you guys drive a forklift? No? Yeah, you're no forklift operator. I am.
Yeah. Well, no, they all are, except for me.
Not everybody can operate a forklift. And I'm telling you though, for me,
these three can.
I own a forklift and I'm like, No, get out of the way. Here, pulling stuff down off the pallet racking, and dude, it's cool. But you know what though? It's a huge, crucial thing to know logistics and how it works. And I've got some cool things for logistics coming down the pipes, guys. I just partnered with a new company. I'm going to be able to save you so much money, and we've got Jim coming down the pipe. The story of this Spazazz. This is just, if you're just hearing about it on this podcast now, wait, come back 6 months later, come back a year, check us out on Amazon, and you're going to see just a massive windfall and floodgates of sales happening over here. I'm like, you can't want it more for a business than they want it for themselves. And that's what I have here is I want a business, or I have a business I'm working with that wants it more than I do and just as much. And they're as active in the business and present in the business, driving it forward. That's what you're looking for. That's the anatomy of a business that you want to work with to help them build their Amazon sales is, a company that takes what they're doing seriously. They're willing to take action. They're open-minded and teachable. And, more importantly, that their culture is good. Like, that's the key. I mean, there's a lot of people that out there that they don't understand that business culture eats business strategy for breakfast. And these guys get it. So, man, I'm just excited to see this thing grow as you guys are. So
Thank you.
awesome.
It was great hanging out with the Spazazz team today, at least a portion of it, right? I know it's much more than what's shown here, but Finn, Angie, Arrie, Riley, great to see you guys. Rooting for you. Hope this leads to great things for you. Nate, thanks for setting up this. A great idea. And the listeners, if you enjoyed this and you want to hear more episodes like this that are brands that we're working with, we've got a bunch. Nate mentioned earlier, we've got about 50 that he's working with himself. So that's a lot of what we do here. And if you want to get into that model, Nate mentioned earlier, the Proven Amazon course has a module inside of it called the Proven Product Partnering module, where we teach you the basics of this, but we got more content coming on that very soon as well. But hey, for all the listeners who hung out with us today, thanks a lot. I just want to remind you, this was not a typical episode. If you want to hear a whole bunch of success stories from our students who've taken our training, that's what most episodes are. Today was a brand that we work with, and it was really fun to hang out with Spazazz.com. All those links are going to be in the show notes that we talked about today, so look for those. And we'll have more great episodes for you very soon. Thanks for hanging out with us today.